Hello and welcome to the 92nd Annual AAU James E. Sullivan Award. On this program, you'll get to know a little bit about each of our finalists, 5 extraordinary men and women who've shown they're the very best at what they do. The Sullivan honors sporting excellence from the most outstanding across the athletic landscape. These 5 finalists are the last 5 standing from a nomination process overseen by the AAU. But the first question is, what is the Sullivan Award and how has it been around for 92 years? Well, we're glad you asked.
Get all the past winners and just to think that I'm in the same class as those athletes.
In the most accomplished sporting nation on earth, with an epic roster of talent claiming many of the world's greatest athletic achievements.
Will you talk a little about what you've done the last 2 years?
I'm a 2-time world champion and I'm a 6-time world medalist.
For nearly a century, the Sullivan Award has been along for the ride, recognizing greatness and bestowing its prestige annually upon the finest American athletes of their times.
It takes their sport, into consideration, but also, how they live their life, which is very important.
First issued in 1930 by the Amateur Athletic Union and named for one of its founders and presidents, the James E. Sullivan Award has recognized American sporting excellence annually and uninterrupted for more than 9 decades. The men and women selected by Sullivan hail from just about every demographic and all corners of this diverse land.
I feel like amateur athletes put so much hard work into what they do and their sport, and everything goes on behind the scenes. No one gets to really see it. And I feel like this is one of the awards that really recognizes that hard work.
Many count this honor as their crowning athletic feat. By any estimation, the list of winners is a roadmap to American athletic dominance for nearly a century.
I think it's really great to recognize amateur athletes and everything that the AAU does to promote amateur athletics. And the
92nd Annual James E. Sullivan Award will identify only one highly decorated athlete who will be welcomed into this exclusive club. The class of finalists for this year's award include 2 with Olympic gold medals and multiple world titles, a Heisman Trophy winner and national champion, plus 2 sluggers from the Diamond who won their Sports Player of the Year honors. Call it a Sullivan Fab 5. Let's meet them now.
Bryce Young, football.
Raised on the fields of Southern California, Bryce Young found his way to Mater Dei, one of the most decorated high schools in America. Bryce got everyone's attention as a prep passer, the key cog in the Mater Dei machine. He could go anywhere. He chose the collegiate equivalent of what he was used to in high school. He chose Alabama. That produced immediate dividends. Bryce showed up on campus and joined a 2020 Crimson Tide squad that manhandled everyone on the schedule en route to a 6th national title in the 14 years under Nick Saban. In 2021, Bryce played his way into the Heisman conversation to the point that it wasn't much of a conversation. With 47 scoring strikes and nearly 4,900 passing yards, while completing 2/3 of his throws, he won the Heisman decisively and also took home the Maxwell, O'Brien, Manning, and Associated Press annual honors. And speaking of honors, 1945's Doc Blanchard, 1993's Charlie Ward, and 2007's Tim Tebow are the only 3 in the Sullivan Heisman Club. If Bryce wins the 2022 Sullivan Award, he would be the 4th.
Jordan Burroughs, wrestling.
Jordan Burroughs may be the finest wrestler this country has ever produced. By the numbers, it's hard to dispute. In September of 2022, he won World Wrestling title number 6, added to his 2012 Olympic crown, and Jordan is the first American grappler with 7 global golds. The Camden, New Jersey native found his calling at the age of 5 when he brought home a wrestling flyer. He was hooked, probably by the early success. He won state and national titles his senior year of high school. Next stop, the University of Nebraska, where Jordan took home 2 NCAA championships for the Cornhuskers. Overall, Jordan has posted 223 wins against 15 defeats. This father of 4 says the Paris Olympics in 2024 will be his last competition. And wrestlers are well represented among Sullivan winners. Should Jordan get the call, he would be the 6th athlete from his sport to join the club.
Jocelyn Ullo, softball.
Anytime you're labeled the Babe Ruth of your game, you're in the category of all-time greats. In the case of Oklahoma slugger Jocelyn Ullo, the comparison is spot on. In addition to helping the Sooners win the last 2 Women's College World Series, her individual stats are nothing short of awe-inspiring, with NCAA all-time marks for home runs with 122, slugging at 987, and total bases with 761. She's also the only player in history to smack 30 home runs in 3 separate seasons. But maybe the most meaningful individual moment for Jocelyn was a game on the road in her native Hawaii in March of 2022, where she ripped the long ball that set the all-time home run record. This timeless moment of excellence achieved just steps from the house she was raised in, before throngs of family, friends, and longtime fans. One last thing, in the 92-year history of the James E. Sullivan Award, no softball player has ever been honored. Jocelyn would be the first.
Ivan Melendez, baseball.
The Ivan Melendez baseball story begins in West Texas. Born and raised in El Paso, he starred at Coronado High School before he found his way to Odessa Junior College, where in 2 seasons he smacked the ball all over the prairie with such regularity that he got the attention of the University of Texas. Ivan arrived in Austin and promptly did more of the same for the Longhorns. In 2 years at UT, he slugged 45 homers, drove in 145 runs, while batting a cool .356. His senior season was a clean sweep of the national MVP honors in college baseball, the Golden Spikes Award, the Dick Howser Trophy, and Collegiate Baseball Player of the Year. The Arizona Diamondbacks made him a high pick in the 2022 MLB draft, so you have to think it won't be long before he works his way up to the big leagues. And in the award's long history, only 1987's Jim Abbott has won from baseball. If Ivan prevails from his class of 5, he would double the list of winners from his sport.
Carissa Moore, surfing.
The legend of Carissa Moore began early on. Raised a surfer not just in Honolulu, but in the same bay where 100 years prior, the father of surfing, Duke Kahanamoku, first rode waves atop wood boards and later brought Hawaii's native sport to the world. From that birthright, Carissa Moore has simply become the brightest light in women's surfing. A 5-time world champion, twice the winner of the Triple Crown of Surfing. And at the Tokyo Games, her iconic moment. She claimed the first Olympic gold medal in the women's shortboard event. A crowning achievement in a career that rolls on. Carissa was inducted into the Surfers Hall of Fame in 2014 and is the first in her sport to win a World Surf League title and Olympic gold medal in the same year. In the 92 years of the Sullivan Award, no surfer has hoisted the trophy. Carissa would be the first.
Recapping this collection of talented finalists. Carissa Moore comes from surfing, Bryce Young, football, Jordan Burroughs, wrestling, Jocelyn Ullo, softball, and Ivan Melendez, baseball. All are worthy winners, but there will be only one. Let's join AAU President Joe Mirza for the announcement.
On behalf of our organization, the Amateur Athletic Union, and our entire membership, our entire board of directors, our Sullivan Committee, I would like to announce the winner of this year's James E. Sullivan Award. The first Hawaiian to win this and the first person from the sport of surfing, Carissa Moore. Congratulations.
Carissa Moore makes history again. The first woman to win Olympic surfing gold is now the first surfer and first Hawaiian to claim Sullivan glory. Adding to the memorable occasion, she's honored among family and lifelong friends in a special spot. The Outrigger Canoe Club in Honolulu, her club since childhood. It's all a little bit overwhelming for an athlete who's used to meeting the moment in the water. And on dry land, she struck all the right notes.
Hi, everybody. Wow, this is quite a surprise. I have to say I didn't really expect any of this. And to be completely honest, this night isn't about me. This night is about the amazing watermen and women that are being inducted tonight. So thank you for this moment and sharing your night with me. To the AAU, thank you so much for this incredible honor. I just, when I first heard I was nominated, I was already blown away. I was like, are you serious? I don't know if I deserve this. And just looking at the list of people who have received this award in the past, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then in order to make the finals, it's kind of a voting process. And I was like, no way. I don't think I'll make it. But myself and Jocelyn, we made it to the finals, and I think it really showed how Hawaii got behind us and showed their love and aloha for us. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's absolutely astonishing. It's absolutely phenomenal. A 5-time world champion, a 3-time Triple Crown winner, and winning the gold medal at the Olympics the same year as she won the World Championships.
The positive undercurrent here is the presence of Duke Kahanamoku, the father of surfing and Hawaii's greatest ambassador of aloha.
The Duke was representing the United States through the AAU, our organization.
He won 6 Olympic swimming medals between 1912 and 1924, and he used his global fame to bring surfing to the world. On this night, they gathered not just to honor Carissa, but for the Duke Kahanamoku Foundation annual dinner, inducting a class of 5 to the Hawaii Watermen's Hall of Fame. Carissa is a 2021 inductee who was there to honor the class after her. That's where she learned she won Sullivan and took time to pay tribute to her predecessor.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Ojima. We begin with some breaking sports news. It's a big night for Olympic gold medalist Carissa Moore.
To be able to receive this award tonight, while we're celebrating Hawaii's watermen and women, and of course, Duke Kahanamoku, AAU is where he started his career.
Carissa's good fortune was well received on the islands to start.
The 5-time world champion beat out fellow Hawaii native Jocelyn Ullo for the prestigious James E. Sullivan Award.
And then the news spread outward. And this might be the most amusing headline we found. Hawaiian darling Carissa Moore smashes Heisman-winning quarterback, NC2A Baseball Player of the Year, and every other notable athlete, becoming the first surfer to win coveted Sullivan Award.
She's following in the steps of the Duke.
He's definitely a hero of mine. I'm really glad that in this moment we can celebrate him again and celebrate his legacy and remember who he was and what he did. And hopefully we can all live like Duke. I hope that I can continue to use my platform to spread more love and aloha like Duke did.
Legacy is, it's kind of like, here it is 100 years later. You're at the Outrigger Club. Who are we honoring? The Duke. Why? Because he was a great athlete? No, because he was a great person. He gave back to his community. People just know him. You just know him. They go, oh my gosh.
And when you're the Sullivan winner, people want to take their picture with the trophy and the recipient. From left to right, Outrigger Canoe Club members Billy Berger and Billy Pratt, AAU President Joe Mirza. You all know the most recent Sullivan winner, Carissa Moore, and Sullivan Award Director, Denny Lennon.
What's unique and special about the Sullivan Award is that it's not just the best athlete in one sport. It's the best athlete amongst all the sports on here.
Oh my gosh, when I found out that I was nominated for this very prestigious award, I looked it up and I saw the very long list of incredible athletes that were given this award before, and I was pretty dumbfounded. I was like, I don't know if I belong on this list.
But what differentiates the Sullivan is that not only it takes their athletic prowess, their ability to to perform. It also takes their character, their involvement, and their community service, how they give back.
It was a nice moment to just sit and reflect upon all the amazing athletes that have come before me, and not only what they've done in their sport, but how they've leaded and how they've shown great sportsmanship and been great examples for the next generation.
Sports are important. They create the ability to work with people. They create the ability not to work with people. Both important. You need to learn how to compete, but you also need to learn how to cooperate as well also to compete.
Well, I started surfing all thanks to my dad and for his love of the ocean. He was an avid swimmer, an ocean water swimmer, and he just loved the ocean and loved surfing and wanted me to fall in love with it so I'd never leave Hawaii, and he succeeded in that.
And sports are really very unique in that way that they allow you to guide our youth, to develop them.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is gratitude. I wouldn't be here today without all the people that have come before, and I'm just honestly extremely blown away to have received this award. There were some incredible athletes that were the finalists this year, and so many amazing athletes who have come before me and received this.
Coming back to Duke and Carissa, it's just absolutely phenomenal that 100 years later, basically the AAU is back in his home, in a house that he built, in a sport that he pushed forward.
It's I'm definitely filled with pride to represent Hawaii, to be a Native Hawaiian, to represent our sport of surfing for the first time, to win this award, the AAU Sullivan Award. It's pretty special.
We're glad you hopped on this wave and joined us for the 2022 Sullivan presentation. Congratulations once again to Carissa Moore, the winner of the 92nd edition of this prestigious honor and quite the deserving champion. We hope to see you next year for the program celebrating the finalists and winner of the 93rd AAU James E. Sullivan Award. Until then, mahalo and aloha from Honolulu.